So I just wanted to get some of your responses or reflections on the roadshow and maybe what the design revolution means to you, if anything.
Start?
He's the true revolutionary.
Oh, yeah, fine. I think it represents the new values in design. We were talking about the fact that design used to be about product, and now it's more about intervening in society in a way that's positive. And I see with the students now this renewed interest in having some kind of a positive effect by using design to change people's lives. So all these products, all these projects are about that, and not about making pretty stuff.
Do you think that's generational? Like, are you seeing that more often now than, say, 10 years ago?
Much more now than 10 years ago. When I was a student, 30 years ago, when we had the first energy crisis, and Victor Papanek was publishing, the books on appropriate technology, and we all wanted to go, fight the green revolution and build organic farms and solve the energy crisis. I haven't seen that kind of enthusiasm in students in 20 years, and now everybody's talking about it. The kids are saying, "Don't teach me to design a landfill. I want to do something important."
Yes, that's great. Amy?
So I agree. I've been thinking a lot lately about design. What if we think about design as not products but process? And I think the Design Roadshow is exciting, and the work that you're doing is interesting because you're going into communities and really figuring out what their daily life is like and working with them to make solutions or relevant solutions to that particular location. And some of the products, are made of dirt. Some are made of scrappy materials, and there isn't this aspect of surface and luster that I think previously, maybe 10 years ago in the design world, was a big hype.
Right.
So I think it's refreshing to see the empowerment of the products, that you can make them yourself. My favorite ones are the glasses that you tune to your eyesight, which...
that seems to be a crowd favorite no matter where we go.
No, it's a brilliant product idea.
Yeah.
And it solves accessibility to medical people who can normally you give that to some expert to solve for you, but if that's not possible, you're supposed to walk around with your glasses. I mean, design should be about making technology accessible and understandable.
I think that's something that is common to a lot of these things, is half of the design is in the hands of the users, where it almost doesn't even become functional until the user engages with it in some way. Those are things like that antivirus needle cap, things that require some kind of action on the user's part. Those are the ones that really interest me.
About 50 years ago, in 1959, Bob McKim and a guy named John Arnold came from MIT and said, "I'm not going to teach engineers the way MIT teaches them anymore, because we teach them to optimize the machine, but we leave the human out. So essentially we're teaching them to design in human machines."
Right.
He got together with McKim, and McKim had come out of the Dreyfus office in New York, which was kind of the ideal of his day, the Henry Dreyfus, doing all the stylish design. And he left that office in disgust, saying, design it's not about the surface, it should be about need. And so you have an engineer and a designer got together and said, let's do a need-based, human-centered engineering design program. Let's make things that matter. So that's always been our orientation. Design has not always had that point of view. It's been about the surface. It's been about, the object. And, I was 7 years at Apple. I'm very accustomed to making beautiful objects. But people misunderstand these things too. It's not about the surface. It's about the complete quality of the experience.
Right.
You get the same thing with the stuff that you curated here.
Yeah.
It's the quality of the human experience that's important, not
the
pretty thing.
And we have the iPod Sport Kit, which is the thing you put in your shoe. And someone asked, what's something that you wouldn't have put in the show? And I said, well, an iPod by itself, but as part of the Sport Kit, where it really enables something that is in the show.
And the guy up at Nike who was responsible for that, Michael Chow, was one of my very first students.
It all comes full circle. Yeah. Well, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.